Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on August 13th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangung Langayate Girim Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains why he could not go to Vrindavan. Under the section, the Lord's attempt to go to Vrindavan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 16.268.
রাত্রিকালে মনে আমি বিচার করিলা সনাতন মোরে কিবা প্রহেলি কহিলা.
At night, however, I considered what Sanatan had told me. CC Madhya 16.269.
ভালো মতো কহিল মোর এত লোক সঙ্গে লোক দেখি কহিবে মোরে এই এক ঢঙ্গে.
I decided that Sanatan had spoken very well. I was certainly being followed by a large crowd, and when people would see so many men, they would surely rebuke me, saying, "Here is another impostor."
Sanatana Goswami had advised Lord Chaitanya by going to a holy place like Vrindavan with so many people.
Sanatan Goswami had advised Lord Chaitanya that going to a holy place like Vrindavan with so many people
Would generally not be the appropriate thing to do.
would generally not be an appropriate thing to do.
That the Lord would not be able to enjoy his visit to the holy place.
The Lord would not be able to enjoy his visit to the holy place.
So Lord Chaitanya considered these things in Kanai Natshala.
So Lord Chaitanya considered these things in Kanai Natshala,
I thought it was a good advice.
and he thought it was a good advice. CC Madhya 16.270.
মর্মী ভক্ত ব্যতীত বহিরঙ্গ লোকের অনধিকার দুর্লভ দুর্গম সেই নির্জন বৃন্দাবন একাকী যাইব কিবা সঙ্গে একজন.
I then began to consider that Vrindavan is a very solitary place. It is invincible and very difficult to attain. I therefore decided to go there alone, or at most with only one person.
Lord Chaitanya is revealing his mind to his intimate associates.
Lord Chaitanya is revealing his mind to his intimate associates.
Since they may wonder why he didn't go all the way to Vrindavan.
Since they may wonder why he didn't go all the way to Vrindavan,
Why he came back
why he came back
without having completed his journey to Vrindavan.
without having completed his journey to Vrindavan.
So he's explaining here.
CC Madhya 16.271.
পূর্ব মহাজন মাধবপুরীর একাকী বৃন্দাবনে গমন মাধবেন্দ্র পুরী তথা গেলা একেশ্বরে দুগ্ধদান ছলে কৃষ্ণ সাক্ষাৎ হইল তাঁরে.
Madhavendra Puri went to Vrindavan alone, and Krishna, on pretext of giving him milk, granted him an audience.
On Madhavendra Puri got the special mercy from Lord Krishna.
How Madhavendra Puri got the special mercy from Lord Krishna
He went alone to Vrindavan.
when he went alone to Vrindavan
Was explained by Lord Chaitanya.
was explained by Lord Chaitanya. CC Madhya 16.272.
প্রভুর বহু লোকসঙ্গে অনাদর বাদিয়ার বাজিপাতি চলিলাম তথারে বহু সঙ্গে বৃন্দাবন গমন না করে।
I then understood that I was going to Vrindavan like a magician with his show, and this is certainly not good. No one should go to Vrindavan with so many men. CC Madhya 16.273.
একা যাইব কিবা সঙ্গে ভৃত্য একজন তবে সে শোভয় বৃন্দাবনের গমন।
I have therefore resolved to go alone or with one servant. In this way, my journey to Vrindavan will be beautiful.
Lord Chaitanya revealing his mind how he wants to visit Vrindavan.
So Lord Chaitanya is revealing his mind how he wants to visit Vrindavan. CC Madhya 16.274.
বৃন্দাবন যাব কাহা একাকী হইয়া সৈন্য সঙ্গে চলিয়াছি ঢাক বাজাইয়া।
I thought, instead of going to Vrindavan alone, I am going with soldiers and the beating of drums. CC Madhya 16.275.
বৃন্দাবন গমন ত্যাগপূর্বক প্রভুর পুনরায় গঙ্গাতটে আগমন। ধিক ধিক আপনাকে বলি হইলাম অস্থির নিবৃত্তি হইয়া পুনঃ আইলাম গঙ্গা তীর।
I therefore said, "Fie upon me," and being very much agitated, I returned to the banks of the Ganges.
Thus, Lord Chaitanya decided to not go to Vrindavan with this huge crowd of people.
So thus Lord Chaitanya decided not to go to Vrindavan with this huge crowd of people.
Instead, he returned to visit Advaita Gosai in Shantipur.
Instead, he returned and visited Advaita Gosai in Shantipur. CC Madhya 16.276.
অল্প ভক্তসহ পুরীতে আগমন ভক্তগণে রাখিয়া আইন স্থানে স্থানে আমার সঙ্গে আইলা সবে ৫-৬ জনে।
I then left all the devotees there and brought only 5 or 6 persons with me. CC Madhya 16.277.
সকলের নিকট নির্বিঘ্নে বৃন্দাবন গমনে যুক্তি যাচ্ছা নির্বিঘ্নে এবে কইছে যাইব বৃন্দাবনে সবে মেলি যুক্তি দেহ হইয়া প্রসন্নে।
Now I wish that y'all will be pleased with me and give me good consultation. Tell me how I shall be able to go to Vrindavan without impediments.
Lord Chaitanya is requesting his assistants to advise him.
So Lord Chaitanya is requesting his assistants to advise him.
Although he's the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Although he is the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead,
he is taking the advice from his devotees.
he is taking the advice from his devotees.
and he questioned please guide him how he can reach Vrindavan without any obstacles.
So he requested them to guide him how to go to Vrindavan without any obstacles. CC Madhya 16.278.
পরিত্যাগ ক্ষুব্ধ দুঃখিত গদাধরকে প্রণয় তোষণ গদাধরে ছাড়ি গেন ইহ দুঃখ পাইল সেই হেতু বৃন্দাবন যাইতে নারিল
I left Gadadhar Pandit here and he became very unhappy. For this reason, I could not go to Vrindavan.
Now, Lord Chaitanya is giving the reason that because Gadadhar Pandit was unhappy.
So now Lord Chaitanya is giving the reason because Gadadhar Pandit was unhappy.
Therefore, he could not complete his journey to Vrindavan.
Therefore, he could not complete his journey to Vrindavan. CC Madhya 16.279.
প্রভুপতি দক্ষিণা ভাবযুক্ত পণ্ডিতের সদৈন প্রেম উক্তি তবে গদাধর পণ্ডিত প্রেমাবিষ্ট হইয়া প্রভু পদ ধরি কহে বিনয় করিয়া
Being encouraged by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's words, Gadadhar Pandit became absorbed in ecstatic love. Immediately clasping the lotus feet of the Lord, he began to speak with great humility. CC Madhya 16.280.
যে স্থানে প্রভু সেই স্থানই বৃন্দাবন বৃন্দাবন ব্যতীত কৃষ্ণের মধুর লীলা নাই তুমি যাহা যাহা রহ তাহা বৃন্দাবন তাহা যমুনা গঙ্গা সর্বতীর্থগণ
Gadadhar Pandit said, wherever you stay is Vrindavan, as well as the river Yamuna, the river Ganges, and all other places of pilgrimage. CC Madhya 16.281.
লোকশিক্ষার্থই প্রভুর বৃন্দাবনে গমন তবু বৃন্দাবনে যাও লোক শিখাইতে সেই তো করিবে তোমার যেই লয় চিত্তে
Although wherever you stay is Vrindavan, you will still go to Vrindavan just to instruct people. Otherwise, you will do whatever you think best. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It was not essential for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan, for wherever he stayed was immediately converted to Vrindavan. Indeed, at the place were also the river Ganges, the river Yamuna, and all other places of pilgrimage. This was also expressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he danced in the Rath Yatra. At that time, he said that his very mind was Vrindavan, Moramon Vrindavan. Because his mind was Vrindavan, all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna were taking place within himself. Nonetheless, just to teach people, he visited Bhauma Vrindavana, Vrindavana Dhama in this material world. In this way, the Lord instructed everyone to visit Vrindavana Dham, which is a very holy place. Materialists consider Vrindavan Dham an unclean city because there are many monkeys and dogs there, and along the bank of Yamuna there is refuse. Some time ago, a materialistic man asked me, "Why are you living in Vrindavan? Why you have selected such a dirty place to live after retiring?" Such a person cannot understand the earthly Vrindavan Dham is always representation of the original Vrindavan Dham. Consequently, Vrindavan Dham is as worshipable as Lord Krishna, Aratya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, Lord Krishna and his abode Vrindavan are equally worshipable. Sometimes materialistic people who have no spiritual understanding go to Vrindavan as tourists. One who goes to Vrindavan with such materialistic vision cannot derive any spiritual benefit. Such a person is not convinced that Krishna and Vrindavan are identical. So, since they are identical, Vrindavan is as worshipable as Lord Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision, Moramohan Vrindavan, is different from the vision of an ordinary materialistic person. At the Rath Yatra festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, absorbed in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, dragged Lord Krishna back to Vrindavan Dham. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke of this in the verses beginning Ahuschate Madhya from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 13.136. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.84.13 it is stated, a human being who identifies the body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman, who considers the land of birth as worshipable, and who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take bath rather than to meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a cow. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally renovated Vrindavan Dham and advised his chief disciples Rupa and Sanatan to develop it and open it to attract the spiritual vision of the general populace. At present, there are about 5,000 temples in Vrindavan, and still our society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is constructing a huge, magnificent temple for the worship of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram along with Radha Krishna and Guru Gauranga. Since there is no prominent Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, we are attempting to construct one so that people will be attracted to Krishna Balarama and Nitai Gaur Chandra. Brajendra Nandan Ye Shachi Shutta Hoilo Shei. Narottam Das Thakur says that Balaram and the son of Maharaj Nanda had advented themselves as Gaura Nitai. To propagate these fundamental principles, we are establishing a Krishna Balaram temple to broadcast to the world that worship of Gaur Nitai is same as worship of Krishna Balaram. Although it is very difficult to enter into Radha Krishna's pastimes, most of the devotees of Vrindavan are attracted to Radha Krishna Leela. However, since Nitai Gaura Chandra are direct incarnations of Balarama and Krishna, we can be directly in touch with Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Those who are highly elevated in Krishna consciousness can enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna through the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna. Sometimes materialists forgetting the pastimes of Radha and Krishna Balarama, Radha Krishna and Krishna Balarama, go to Vrindavan, accept the land's spiritual facilities to engage in material activity. This is against the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Prakrita Sahajiyas proclaim themselves Brajavasis or Dhamvasis, but they are mainly engaged in sense gratification. Thus, they become more and more implicated in the materialistic way of life. Those who are pure devotees in Krishna consciousness condemn their activities. The eternal Brajavasis like Swarup Damodar did not even come to Vrindavan Dham. Sri Pundarika Vidyanidhi, Sri Haridas Thakur, Srivas Pandit, Sivananda Sen, Sri Ramananda Rai, Sri Shiki Mahiti, Sri Madhavi Devi, Sri Gadadhar, Sri Madhavi Devi, Shri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami never visited Vrindavan Dham. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that we have no authorized documents stating that these exalted personalities visited Vrindavan. Nonetheless, we find many non-devotees, Mayavadi sannyasis, Prakrita sahajyas, fruitive workers, mental speculators, and many others with material motives going to Vrindavan to live. Many of these people go there to solve their economic problems by becoming beggars. Although anyone living in Vrindavan somehow or other is benefited, the real Vrindavan is appreciated only by a pure devotee. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, when one has purified eyes, he can see that Sri Vrindavan and the original Golok Vrindavan planet in the spiritual sky are identical. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Sri Bhagavan Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and later Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur of Calcutta always engaged in Nam Bhajan and certainly did not live anywhere but Vrindavan. Presently, the members of the Hare Krishna movement throughout the world live in materially opulent cities such as London, New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Moscow, Zurich, and Stockholm. However, we are satisfied with following the footsteps of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other acharyas. Because we live in the temples of Radha and Krishna and continuously hold Harinama Sankirtan, the chanting of Hare Krishna, we consequently live in Vrindavan and nowhere else. We are also following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by attempting to construct a temple in Vrindavan for our disciples throughout the world to visit.
So, we see that His Divine Grace, the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he constructed the temple in Vrindavan.
So we see that His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he constructed a temple in Vrindavan
So that people
so that people
could visit.
could visit.
He also requested that the people should visit the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
He also requested people that they should visit the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And we're trying to build the temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur,
So we are trying to build the temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur,
which is possibly the largest temple in the world.
which is possibly the largest temple in the world.
And the idea is Navadvip is not different from Vrindavan.
The idea is that Navadvip is non-different from Vrindavan.
It says Gaur Nitai are not different from Krishna and Balaram.
Just as Gaur and Nitai are non-different from Krishna and Balaram.
So thus we're trying to develop this holy land.
Thus, we are trying to develop this holy land.
Just as Lord Chaitanya had instructed Rupa and Sanatan
Just as Lord Chaitanya had instructed Rupa and Sanatan
to develop
to develop the
the Vrindavan Dham.
Vrindavan Dham.
So Prabhupada asked his followers to develop the places of Lord Chaitanya's pastime.
Srila Prabhupada asked his followers to develop the places of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes.
So Narottam Das Thakur was saying, Lord Vandalabhumi, Devadana,
Chint-
Chitavadi, Bhagavad.
Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Shri Gaura Mandala Bhumi Jeba Jani Chintamani Tar Hoi Braja Bhumi Bas.
That Lord Vandalabhumi pastime place of Lord Chaitanya, the spiritual.
That Gaur Mandal Bhumi, the pastime place of Lord Chaitanya, is as spiritual.
And one understands that they're actually living in Vrindavan.
If one understands that they are actually living in Vrindavan Dham. CC Madhya 16.282.
বর্ষা 4 মাস পুরীতে থাকিতে অনুরোধ। এই আগে আইলা প্রভু বর্ষার 4 মাস, এই 4 মাস করো নীলাচলে বাস।
Taking this opportunity, Gadadhar Pandit said, "Just now the 4 months of rainy season have begun. You should therefore spend the next 4 months in Jagannath Puri."
The previous custom was not to travel during the rainy season,
The previous custom was not to travel during the rainy season,
especially since the roads are basically dirt roads. They become very muddy during the rainy season.
especially the roads will become dirt roads and become very muddy during the rainy season.
পরে স্বতন্ত্র প্রভু যথেচ্ছ যাইতে ভক্তগণে অনাপত্তি, বাঁচে সে আচরিবা যেই তোমার মন, আপন ইচ্ছায় চলো রহ কে করে বারণ।
After remaining here for 4 months, you will be free to do as you like. Actually, no one can stop you from going or remaining. CC Madhya 16.284.
সকল ভক্তেরই ওই প্রার্থনা, শুনি ভক্ত কহে প্রভুর চরণে, সবাকার ইচ্ছা পণ্ডিত কইল নিবেদনে।
Upon hearing this statement, the devotees present at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated that Gadadhar Pandit had properly presented their desire.
All the devotees in Nilachal are anxious to have the Lord stay there 4 months of the rainy.
So all the devotees of Nilachal are anxious to have the Lord stay there in Nilachal during the 4 month of the rainy seasons,
They could have his association.
so that they could have his association. CC Madhya 16.285.
সকলের ইচ্ছামতে প্রভু 4 মাস পুরীতে অবস্থান, সবার ইচ্ছায় প্রভু 4 মাস রহিলা, শুনিয়া প্রতাপ রুদ্র আনন্দিত হইলা।
Being requested by all the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to remain at Jagannath Puri for 4 months. Hearing this, King Prataprudra became very happy. CC Madhya 16.286.
টোটায় নিজ গৃহে পণ্ডিতের প্রভুকে ভিক্ষাদান, সেই দিন গদাধর কইল নিমন্ত্রণ, তাহা ভিক্ষা কইল প্রভু লইয়া ভক্তগণ।
That day, Gadadhar Pandit extended an invitation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord took his lunch at his place with the other devotees.
So, materialists, they often invite people to lunch with them.
So materialists, they often invite people to have lunch with them.
Here we see this is a transcendental activity the Lord Chaitanya had
So here we,
to the devotees.
but here we see this is a transcendental activity that Lord Chaitanya had with his pure devotee.
They would take prasadam together,
That they would take prasadam together,
discuss topics about Lord Krishna.
they would discuss the topics about Lord Krishna.
In this way they would associate.
And in this way they would associate. CC Madhya 16.287.
পণ্ডিতের প্রেম ও প্রভুর তদ্বশ্যতা মত্ত জীবের অচিন্ত, ভিক্ষাতে পণ্ডিতের স্নেহ প্রভুর আস্বাদন মানুষের শক্তি দুই না যায় বর্ণন।
No ordinary human being can possibly describe Gadadhar Pandit's affectionate presentation of food or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tasting this food.
Or this giving of prasad and receiving of prasadam
So, this giving the prasad and receiving the prasadam
is one of the exchanges of love.
is one of the exchanges of love.
So, materialists not able to understand this.
So, the materialists, they are not able to understand this.
How giving and receiving prasadam can be one of a very great spiritual affection.
How giving and receiving of the prasadam can be one of the great spiritual affection. C.C. Madhya 16.288.
এই মতো গৌরলীলা অনন্ত অপার সংক্ষেপে কহে কথন না যায় বিস্তার।
In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performs his pastimes, which are unlimited and unfathomable. Somehow or other, these have briefly been described. It is not possible to describe them elaborately.
The exchanges between Lord Chaitanya and his devotees
The exchanges between Lord Chaitanya and his devotees
have multiple dimensions.
have multiple dimensions.
Not possible to mention everything.
It's not possible to mention everything.
So the author has stated that he's just describing some superficial aspects.
So the author is describing that is just describing some superficial aspects.
Can't go into great detail
He can't go into great details
because there's no limit.
because there are so many to it.
No limit.
There is sorry Guru Maharaj, because there is no limit. C.C. Madhya 16.289.
সাক্ষাৎ অনন্তেরও গৌরলীলার অন্ত পাইতে অসমর্থ সহস্র বদনে কহে আপনে অনন্ত তবু এক লীলার তেহ নাহি পাই অন্ত।
Although Lord Anantadeva is always describing the pastimes of the Lord with his thousands of mouths, he cannot reach the end of even one of the Lord's pastimes.
Or one of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes is exchanging rasas with every devotee in a different way.
In Lord Chaitanya's pastime is process of exchanging with every devotees
Actually, one limit to how these
Actually, there is no limit to how these pastimes can be explained.
Anantadev has thousands of mouths.
Even Anantadev, who have thousands of mouths,
He did not fully describe any of the pastimes of the Lord.
he cannot fully describe any of the pastimes of the Lord. Thus ends the chapter entitled Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains why he could not go to Vrindavan. Under the section, the Lord's attempt to go to Vrindavan.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.